So let's get on with the business of today. The month of September, today actually 1st of September, we know that judging by what we saw in the previous month, this month also promises a lot for the people of the FCT in terms of projects, under commissioning or flag off all of that. You flagged off some projects not too long ago, and we understand that this week too, you are flagging off some new projects. Would you like to start with that, and what do these projects actually bring on board for the people of the FCT?
Well, like we said, yes, we have commissioned, yes, we have flagged up, and we've got not to flag off. At least for today, it's not about road. For today, it's not about water. For today, it's not about schools. But today, it's about sports. What are you going to do in order to encourage our youths to take the advantage of what sports is today, the international community, and engaging our youths? So we have come up with this idea that we are going to build a multi-event center that will take into cognizance all the sporting activities, not just only football, not just athletics, even the indoor games, lawn tennis, all sporting activities. That we are partnering with a private company. We are going to fund it, but the essence is to see that to encourage our youths who will encourage them. You can see what's happening today. Sport is one of the huge revenues for countries, you know. We are starting with three. But today we do the one in the city. The next one, I think, is in Guagualada. Then another one, if I remember vividly, when we are there, we are in Padres. So it's something that everybody will be happy. And even people like you too should be going there and try to take part by exercising yourself, you know. In fact, like this, my head of service that nobody knows. I mean, it's sometimes we don't pay attention to some of these things. So nobody will blame us that we're always concentrating on roads. But that does not mean that. But one day we talk about road too, it will be in Kano, you know. Tomorrow will be for the courts, because if you see where the magistrate courts are and how they are sharing, is so discouraging. And so we decided that we have to provide a more confident for the magistrates to work, just like the judges have been provided for. So that of the magistrate courts has to do with 3 districts, as required by the Chief Judge of the FCT High Court. So that will be done tomorrow, and then Wednesday we'll go back to the roads, which is very, very key to open up our cities. Of course, it's a satellite center, but in Abuja municipality.
Yeah, in the last media chat, I think it's fair to commend when things are done right. In the last media chat, I wasn't here, but I watched it, and I observed your reaction when comments were made that it seems you were doing more off-road project. This time around, it seems there's a clear sort of shift. So I think it's worth commending that you've done what you said you would do, you listened, and all of that. But there's shanties. In the past 1 month, we understand you've been, clearing it off, sending people away. There are concerns about homelessness, and also if there is any plans to maybe relocate these people.
Well, when you say shanties, are shanties legal? Shanties are people who are illegal occupying a place. You see, we can not joke with security. You have complained about insecurity, kidnappers, one source, or what do you call it? One chance and things. These are people who occupy all these shanties. In fact, sometimes they take over the corridors where the road is supposed to pass. And then when you want to do road, they say compensation to who? Who is this person here? You don't see a land, you just go and begin to put batches. It's not allowed.
Some would say that the reason these people do this is probably because they're poor, they have no alternative.
It is not correct. It is not correct. Certainly it's not correct. When people want to do bad, mind you, criminals don't stay where you locate them. Criminals don't say houses where you will identify them. Criminals say in this area of somewhere you cannot locate them. We cannot say because of poverty we shall allow you to kill people, to rob people, to kidnap people. That is not allowed. It defaces the city. And that is why we have told people who claim that this land belongs to them, or sometimes, why are you not developing the land? Why are you making it possible for these criminals to come and settle here and cause problems for the city? And then you say government is not doing anything. We are going to make sure that all illegal occupants of anywhere will be thrown out. It's unfortunate. But there's nothing we can do about it. Because security is key, is paramount. Any government that cannot provide security for citizens has nothing to do in government, has nothing else with government. So we have to be careful about this poverty thing or no poverty thing. There's no even a time that poverty, anybody can say I saw the problem of poverty. Nation, which country? Which country? All over the world. I go to China, go to places. The area you see poverty. You can see it. But that does not give you room to make people uncomfortable, to kidnap people, to kill people. No, we will not allow that. So let nobody be using this poverty thing as an excuse.
Your Excellency, I think there are two separate things. There are those who are criminals, who do not want to, who are setting up shanties in obscure places. Say, for instance, the hills of Guzape, you will find that there are people who are living in the hills, using tarpaulin and what have you. And sometimes there's a lot of suspicion around the activities of those people. But then there are people who are also poor, who have nowhere else to go, who have been kicked out. Maybe cannot afford their rent, for instance. So I think the question should be, can we separate what exactly is the plan of the FCT for those people who could be vulnerable as a result of economic shocks and perhaps have nowhere to go and as such are now staying in illegal places?
We should come up with a communist idea that government should build houses for everybody.
What's wrong with that?
You cannot survive it.
Okay, for the vulnerable.
For
the vulnerable.
What do you call vulnerable? See, we must have
the poor.
See, that's the problem I have.
So can we narrow it down?
Take for example, I'm coming. Take for example, we are provided a market. Say for example, right? You see people not going to market to sell, right? They prefer to come out, and then you tell us, oh, poverty. There's a market for you to go and sell. You should not go to use the market. You want to come out outside. As I'm coming now from my house, look at people, oranges, corn, they peel it, they dump it in the drainage. That is poverty. Is that poverty? And then when you go and chase them out, you now say, look, these are people who have nowhere to go and sell. It is not correct. Okay, assuming you have even allowed to stay there and sell. Does that also make that you block the drainage system? And then it start causing flood. I mean, we should not be even hiding under these guise of poverty. And people are doing what is wrong.
Reality. In other countries, they build shelters for people that they don't have the capacity to pay their rent outside.
To pay their rent where?
within the community.
No. Let us tell ourselves a simple truth. Who are those in the cities? Go to Buhari, which is a satellite town, where people, villagers live. Even there, they don't bother about sanitation. I go to Buhari every time. The law school is there. Those are villages. Yet they leave their houses and come on the road. Is that poverty? We have this attitude that look, everything must be done by government. Somebody comes out to say, look, I don't care. Government will come and pack this refuse. Come on.
Now, Honorable Minister, while we understand your displeasure towards some of these anomalies and the fact that people take advantage of amenities that have been set up for them and end up not even using them, is there again a clear-cut plan in order to alleviate the sufferings of some of these individuals who live in shanties, who are not necessarily criminals? I understand the need to clear the shanties and rid the city of criminal elements, but how about the poor and vulnerable who continue to suffer as a result of some of these decisions?
Take for example.
Just to add to what he is saying, sir, sorry to interrupt. Is it possible for this particular shanty, a temporary relocation site, give them time to find another place?
I will not fall to that trap. I will not allow criminality for any guise. I will not allow it.
Is it a crime to be poor?
What do you mean by poverty? Take for example, people leave their states all over and come here. You tell me because of poverty I should carry the responsibility. People leave their states and come and roam over the streets of Abuja. It's the responsibility of the government of Abuja to provide houses when you leave your state. What are we encouraging? No, excuse me. What are you encouraging? What are you encouraging? You people leave their states to come to Abuja because it's the capital of the country. And then it is our responsibility to provide shelter for you. How can you sustain it?
I'm a little curious. You also attend the Federal Executive Council meeting and perhaps also the National Economic Council meeting. Are these conversations that are happening? Because we've seen over the years this complaint amongst governors of, really urban states. Take, for instance, Lagos, where they do not have control over people that can come into their city, but then we know that there is a problem of rural-urban migration. People are seeking greener pastures. Is it a conversation that, is being held amongst the governors or also in the Federal Executive Council meeting?
But one thing you must understand clearly, and which you must appreciate. As well today, no government can provide shelter for all the citizens. It is not possible. We must be realistic. We must. But the mere fact that we are having a shortage of houses for people does not make us to further out to allow crime. Absolutely. It does not. It cannot stand. Every government, whether at the state level, at the federal level, is doing its best to see that you reduce this housing deficit. But again, you cannot say as a government that you take entire responsibility of providing housing for your citizens. It's not possible.
Sorry, excuse me. Honorable Minister, I'm going to take you away from, the shanties in Abuja. Your giant strides in infrastructural development, from roads to water, you're talking about trade. The hospitals have not felt the presence of Mr. Infrastructure.
Yes, that is what you would always say. Let me answer. She said so. She said no, you have said so. There's nothing to do. Say, don't take all my time.
Okay, sir.
You talk about my time. Right. She said so. Now, last time that I was talking about the infrastructure and I was going to do other things. And she's happy that I have fulfilled that promise by going to other sectors.
Yes.
The problem we have is that when you see that you have attended to this sector, everybody believes that you must attend to all sectors at the same time. It's not correct. I told you about education. The number of schools we have renovated and furnished, right? And he said, but why is it that people are not aware? Okay, I'm going to direct the mandate secretary to take you to the rural area and see what we are doing in terms of schools. Now, somebody talks about youth participation and this and that. That's okay today. We are studying about sporting activities, sporting multi-event center that will bring the youth, engage them, all those kind of things. We have, our budget was just released. The 2025 budget was just sent to us after the National Assembly approved, and then Mr. President assented to it. So the procurement process is on as regarding to hospitals. We are talking about the hospital in Gwagwalada, we are talking about the hospital in Guaripa, even the doctor's quarters and the rest of it. We are talking about the Otako, which are the former litigation. And so the hospital was abandoned because of litigation between the private persons and individuals and the government. So, and we've been able to sort out that issue of litigation, and then the procurement process is, of which you know about the procurement process, how long it takes, particularly when it concerns this specialty, this special areas. You cannot just say, oh, no, let's go ahead and do it the way we want to do it. No. So I believe that our next focus will be on the issue of health. Don't be surprised that if you're invited tomorrow, that the things we are doing in terms of health. You saw, you really said it last time we met, we're happy that you are now fulfilled. Anything I tell you, go home and sleep with your 2 eyes closed, that we are going to do. But people must always understand that when we talk about infrastructure, if I provide a hospital, there's no route to the hospital. How do you go? And if a woman is pregnant, another labor, and there's no road, how do you go there? Before you know it, that woman may lose her baby because of the bad road. It happens. Even tries to criminalize to when the roads are bad. And so people must understand that our focus on road is not just because it is the key, the determinant to every sector. If you have a school, there's no road to the school, what do?
You have to control.
So it is important. People should know first thing first.
Speaking of Honorable Minister, the welfare of the people here is very paramount. I mean, it's good you've enunciated what you'll be doing in, the health sector in the FCT. You mentioned the Utako abandoned General Hospital. All the districts in Abuja are supposed to be serviced by General Hospital, but there is a gradual deterioration of healthcare system in FCT as raised by resident doctors. They said, and I'll quote or verbatimly put it in perspective, systematic deterioration. Only yesterday they issued their communique. That is, I want you to address.
What do you mean about resident doctor? You're talking about the FCT or the
FCT resident.
People make mistake. There are some hospitals that are not under the FCT. There are hospitals that are under FCT. So you must have to differentiate that. The one that's done by Federal Ministry of Health and the one by FCT directly.
Yeah, I think the FCT resident doctors have issued. That's what you're referring to, a 5-day notice.
You understand? Talking about the deterioration in the health system in the FCT,
let me tell you
General
something.
Hospitals.
Let me tell you something. See, I was a governor, and I do know, I was a council chairman as a governor, and I'm here as a minister. One thing I found out in all this is that there's no time, even in ASU. Every time you hear one resolution, one communique, and this, and threat of this, and threat of that, Let me tell you something. When I was Minister of State Education, and then I became the Supervisory Minister of Education, then I met with the Vice Chancellors. And who were saying, look, what ASU is demanding is not proper. They don't understand the realities. They don't understand the funding part of government and the inadequate of resources. I said, how can you say that? Because you're the Vice Chancellor. Remember, before you became a Vice Chancellor, you were a lecturer. And you were ASU. That's correct, yes. So I come down. You see, we must tell ourselves the truth. Every sector believes that everything should be 100%. And it is not possible. No government will sit back and say, look, I don't want this sector to be functional. No. Government applies its resources based on its availability. And you cannot say all your resources must be tailored towards one sector. You have to, as the need arises. Today, the doctors are talking about training and retraining. Tomorrow, the doctors are talking about allowances that will not be paid. Today, the doctors are the hospitals, there are no equipment at this. When you provide the equipment today, tomorrow you say, look, yes, this equipment you have provided. What about training and retraining? You go for it, say, look, hazard allowances and this and that. So each time you come up with, I'm not saying that some of these things are not being achievable immediately. And we must understand that. And you wake up in the morning, you hear news. We have issued government an ultimatum without even writing to government. They have issued an ultimatum. Here is, you don't engage with government and let government know these are the problems you are facing. The dream is just blackmail, threats. And by the time you sit down with them and say, look, but this is not possible. See this, see this, see this. You now come and we did not realize that this has been done. And these are not the things that this communicate issue. Have you written to government that look, we want to discuss with you, see what you think, see what you do. When I was governor, doctors said, look, all of them entitled to vehicles. I said, how do I provide it? How do I provide it? How do I provide vehicle for over 2,000, 1,000 doctors? How do I do it? I said, this is the entitlement. Okay, assuming, do not consider. How do you provide it? You can say, okay, I will take 50 now, or I'll take 100. They'll say, no, 500. How do you provide it? And so we must be realistic.
I'll say you're the leader. Somehow leaders will figure it out.
No, but it should be realistic too. It should be realistic. Okay, take for example, I've just said here severally, and we don't want to take that. What does Abuja get from the Federation account? What do we get? What we get from the Federation account is that federal government gets $1 trillion, for example, in a month. For example, if I thought they do. 1% of $1 trillion is how much? Those of you who know mathematics. No, which 100 billion?
1 billion.
10 billion naira. That is not up to for you to pay salary. Now, what do? You fall back to your IGR. Is it not correct?
The FCT wage bill is more than 10 billion naira a month?
It is 12 point something billion naira a month.
Overhead.
Salary.
Yeah, that's overhead.
And for over 47,000 workers, how do you have 47,000 workers in FCT? For Christ's sake.
Honorable Minister.
And then you now come to say, okay, I have to verify. Labor will come in. They're going to strike. You want to sack some workers. This and that and that. That's what you face. But the truth of the matter is that, okay, we fall back to our IGR.
Is it possible to...
No, hold on. So that let people know. Maybe you are trying to dodge. because maybe your media outfit is also owing. The point I'm trying to say, no, yeah,
you know that my media outfit can never.
No, you owe.
We don't owe.
Okay, don't worry. I will publish it tomorrow.
We don't owe.
Now you see what happens. Now when you now come out to say, look, we must be aggressive to connect our IGL to be able to solve this problem. Then you also go back and say, oh, the manner and way the FCT is going about these taxes is not correct. There's no human face, not this. You look. You want problem to be solved. I'm just being realistic now to telling you now, look at the problems. Now put it on the table. Government say, look, see what we are getting. And the only way we can achieve and get money to solve these problems will fall back to IGL. You know, payment of tax is a problem here. Payment is a problem. Yeah. Most of you are living in Matama, Asokoro, Wuse, One. There are no poor people there, but you pay.
All right, Honorable Minister, I'm sure we'll have time to come back to FCT issues, but let's do things differently in this particular media chat. Yes.